Well, here we are. I'm with my friends, Dr. Teri Fisher and Gabe Viggers. So, Teri, maybe we could start by just having you introduce yourself, tell us a bit about the Voice Den, and I'll have Gabe introduce himself as well. And then we'll have a conversation about some of the fun things we've done together the last year and a half.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Ian. My name's Teri Fisher. I'm in Vancouver over on the West Coast in Canada. I'm a physician by day. I like to say I'm a voice tech enthusiast by night. Over the last 4 years or so now, I'm losing track of the time, I've been really involved in the voice tech space as an educator, as a speaker, as somebody that puts on events. But I like to keep things very casual and create educational forums where it's a lot of fun and relaxed and people have a good time. And one of the other things that I really love to do is to look at technology that's on the cutting edge of where things are going. And the Voice Den has been a series of online shows. It's almost like an online reality show, game show, where we get to bring some of the leading thought leaders in the voice tech industry. We call them the voice influencers, and they come on, and then the audience gets to participate. And opposed to, the typical online webinar where it's somebody talking at the audience, these shows are all designed to have an interactive component. And we've got a lot of other elements of creativity and surprises, and of course, NFTs that we can talk about in a little bit. So there's a quick intro, Ian.
Well, thanks for jumping in. Gabe, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Gabe. I'm the entrepreneur in residence at attn.live. I've been working with and for Ian for the past 3 to 4 years of my life. And I've been working with Teri for the past year and a half, creating over 2,000 NFTs for the Voice Den. But so I started out interning for about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and then I've had the role of entrepreneur in residence for about a year now. But
So the two of you have been great partners to me and to the rest of our team at attn.live because we've tested a ton of things out with NFTs last year and a half. And this has been all kind of based out of the things that I've learned as a co-producer of NFT.NYC. And so to give a little context for anybody that's tuning in, now just to be clear, you might be watching this live, you might see the archive of this, but we're not really talking at you. We're just going to have a conversation together for a few moments. And I'm going to ask these guys to give their perspective on community development, on technology, on the future regarding NFTs. But let me just give a little context first to you, if you are watching, on what we've done. So I have been co-producing NFT.NYC for the last few years. I've learned an amazing amount about how NFTs are going to basically take over the world, how it is the smart contract execution of Web3 that has the easiest ability to scale and has the greatest impact for automation, et cetera. And so as we've discussed that, Teri, you came to me early last year, right when the pandemic started. I feel like we started talking like April, and then we maybe made a decision on Star Wars Day, May 4th, when you first got your attn.live account, so you could go live through our software and create NFTs. And we were talking about your goal for the Voice Den. You said, it'd be great to see Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant be our sponsors. The greatest sonic brander in the world, Audrey from Audio Brain, so that she jump in and do the sonic branding. And you invited me to come and be a part of it. And I said, well, hey, let's do NFTs. I have Gabe. At that point, maybe Gabe, you are our intern. You've been with us for a couple of years. I said, Gabe has figured outness to the max. He's young, he's able, he's been watching the things I've been teaching him. He understands how to use our platform. And let's have Gabe just do this. And the end result for the last year and a half has been that it's about 80 different companies. Many of those are Fortune 500 companies that we got the legal team at those companies to approve, allowing us to use their company name, their executive name, image, their bio, their story, make nicknames for them, and create these one-of-one NFTs. And so for every single speaker, I think we've created 29 one-of-one NFTs. So they have different names, different colors, but it's the basic same premise. And then we just start giving NFTs away to the community. If you came to the Voice Den, we said, if you come, we'll give you an NFT. And if you share and do these different promotional things, we'll give you more NFTs. And it was funny, like, you got spring and summer 2020. You were like, what's an NFT? Why are you doing NFTs? This is so strange. And now, of course, fast forward a year and a half, and there's a lot more enthusiasm around our ability to create NFTs, use them for engagement, and so much more. So that's a little background on why I asked the two of you to jump in. For these pre-event interviews I do for NFT.NYC, I do try to stick to a rhythm of talking about community, talking about technology, and talking about the future. So Teri, maybe you could tackle community. You are as respected of a community developer, community leader in the voice tech space as anybody in the world. You are at the very, very top of producers, of people that are trusted. Every single event asks you to come and do a keynote. And it's not just the voice tech world. TED has asked you to do keynotes. You are a physician by day, but you've developed so much trust with community as a content creator, as a speaker, as an author, and you find all these different mediums to create content. So can you talk with Gabe and I and give us your insights on community development and the importance of community, especially as we start pursuing some more decentralized approaches to community?
Yeah, wow, that's great, Ian. Thanks. Community is everything. I think regardless of where you are, what you're doing, what niche you're in, whatever the case may be, if you don't have a community, what do you have? It's you just trying to speak your mind, and it's not going anywhere. This is one of the things that I really, really value about the voice end. And that was one of the biggest goals that I had when I started it, was to bring the community together, and not just, as I said, to talk to the community, but to get them involved. And that is why from the outset, the whole show, The Voice End, is designed to be community oriented. I think a lot of that starts with the attitude that you put out towards the people that are joining the events, making people feel welcome, making people feel valued. And that's something that I have really, really tried to make a conscious effort to do. I'm thrilled that now when we do the voice end, the chat is just, I can't keep up with it. It's just wonderful. People are checking in and they're like, hey, it's great to see you here. Haven't seen you in a while. And there's good natured, joking around and good natured heckling. And it's just people having a great time. And I think, then out of that comes the education, in this case, voice tech. We talk about voice tech. So, there's great questions that are asked and people learn, but it's all layered on top of an understanding that everybody there is welcome. Everybody there is part of the community. And I think that is what really makes this quite unique and quite powerful. So yes, community is everything to me. It's so, so important. I'm really thankful that I'm able to bring this together and bring people together in such a way. And that's it. I think community is just going to continue to be just as important as it has been, and probably more important going forward.
Well, we agree with you. You see, over here, he's nodding. It's like he's listening. With you. So Gabe, let's talk about technology. You have been the person that Teri, myself, the half dozen people that's at Attention Live, that if there's something we need done quickly, if there's something that we need figured out, we just throw it at you. That's why I asked you to take the, not that titles matter, but actually take the title of entrepreneur in residence rather than intern or some other next level, because I felt like you had really taken a hold of that essence where you are the special projects guy and you figure things out. When it came to really figuring out how to use our software and our strategic partners software, NFT.cred, there was, nobody really knew exactly how to do it at scale to where we could, do thousands of these NFTs that were one of ones and very specific. And so maybe you could talk a bit about some part of the tech process that has been really delightful, and maybe some part of the tech process that you're just looking forward to being developed, because obviously in this Web3 space, it's a lot different than just grabbing your mobile phone or grabbing your tablet and just pressing buttons. There's a little bit more to it. So why don't you give us some insights on tech stuff?
Definitely. So I would say for people like you, Teri, and I, people that have been in this community, we know how to operate all these different platforms. But I have a brother not involved in tech in any way, shape, or form, but he's heard the word NFTs. Maybe people like that want to buy an NFT or want to know how to make them or want to make them at scale, there's really no way to learn that besides going on YouTube or getting on OpenSea, Doccred, or a bigger platform and literally just going on and clicking the buttons and trying to figure out yourself, which is basically how I did it with all the platforms I've used. But I would just like to see the usability. The usability is going to go up, but I would like to see an easier way for people to go from 0 to 100, like with NFT knowledge or crypto knowledge in general. So you can go from ground zero to 100 a lot quicker when just knowing technical stuff like that.
When you think about where tech is at and where tech is going, if you could see one thing change that would make things more usable for you specifically, not just for people that aren't in the know, but for you, you already have tackled these things and done these things. What is a development toward the future of tech that you think would be most significant in speed or efficiency or things of that nature?
Do you mean mainly in NFT?
Just anything in the development of, creating NFTs, anything around what we do with the Web3 tech stuff.
This is all what I've heard is maybe the removal of the term NFTs, because then they're basically just digital assets. That's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been hearing for the past year or two from people like you or people that are big names, is removing the term NFT, because basically like an NFT is a non-fungible token. It could be art, it could be this, or it could be anything digital. So it could be a song. Like it doesn't have to be like a physical thing. It's digital. And so, yeah.
Teri, let's talk about the future before we wrap up. So if I say to you, NFT 2024, what type of positive things are you driving toward? What type of things are you hoping for with all you do in the voice tech world, the voice den? I mean, you imagine you're on show 18. So by 2024, you'll be on show 40, right? Or something of that nature. So when you think about the voice den 40, when you think about creating the 10,000th or 100,000th NFT for these big voice tech communities and executives, or whatever it is that we develop next, where is your mind drawn to? What do you want to see happen in the next couple of years in this industry?
Yeah, that's great. That's really exciting, because I think there's this whole layer of interactivity that has me very excited. Just to set the framework here. Currently, the NFTs that we produce for the voice den are collector's cards. So every speaker that comes on, we've created this collectible card, just like a baseball card. But it's, as Gabe was saying, it's a digital asset. So it's a digital version of this baseball card. And we've been giving them out. People have been collecting these, which is a lot of fun and fantastic. But what I'm really excited about for the future is now all of a sudden, when these have some type of layer of interactivity, maybe some of it is known to the person when they obtain it. Maybe some of it is even a surprise. And when they start to collect one card and another card, maybe when you bring those together, there's something that unlocks. Or maybe it's a card that is put out by, or the card is of a person who represents one of the big companies. And maybe the person gets that card, and after a certain amount of time of holding onto that card, it unlocks a coupon, or they get a device, or they get some piece of hardware, or they get a prize. Or maybe there's some magical formula that nobody even knows, but if you happen to hold card 6, 26, and 36, then all of a sudden you have a ticket to the next big conference. Those are the types of things that I think are really, really exciting, because people like to be surprised, people like to be delighted, people like to win things, people like to interact, and there's just so much that can be done. Things that, that I can't think of right now, things that probably none of us are even aware of at the moment. But as this progresses over the next year, 2 years, and we start to see people using these in such a way, like Gary V, right? And Gary V's NFTs, and the way you buy an NFT, but not only do you get the NFT, but you've got some type of pass to the conference or dinner with Gary or whatever the case may be. There's just so much there. And that's the part that has me really, really excited for the future.
I love that. So how about, Gabe, why don't you give us a final word? So there's going to be, you've sold over 5,000 tickets. all three of us are speakers at NFT.NYC this year. And so, which I'm very grateful that the event has honored the two of you and all that you've done quietly, privately in the voice tech community without banging drums and clanging cymbals, just, doing the work of figuring this tech out and implementing it in real tangible ways. And so with all the people there in New York City, and you imagine they're all in Times Square at one moment, which is supposed to happen Tuesday morning, by the way, around sunrise. We have a way to get all of the people there at one time. If you could get all the billboards and you could say a message to that community, what is your message as a 18-year-old guy on a DApp NFT team?
I would definitely say buckle up.
Buckle up.
We're getting ready. We're getting ready. We're definitely, we've been saying buckle up for the past 2 or 3 years, but now the rest of the world's going to start buckling up on NFTs.
Yeah.
Because we've been buckled up for the past 3, basically.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I think NFTs and usability and interactability is going to get a lot easier in the future.
Yeah.
So that'll be something that's definitely awesome.
I like that. Teri, you want to add anything?
I love that. I love the buckle up. That's awesome, Gabe. One of the things that I think people are going to start thinking about, and the sooner you start thinking about it, the better, is what does your portfolio contain? And is your portfolio sort of, if you want to call them traditional type of investments? Are you going to be looking at collecting your digital assets and thinking about what sorts of digital assets make sense for you in your portfolio? Because I think we're going to be seeing that a lot more going forward. So buckle up and take a look at your portfolio and see if digital assets are right for your portfolio.
And my message would be, find people like Teri and Gabe to work with, because this is a team sport and there's a lot to be said for working in collaboration with others. For those that are watching us live or see the archive of this conversation, thank you for your attention. My name is Ian Utile. I'm one of the co-producers at NFT.NYC. I'm also the CEO and co-founder of Attention.live, which is the context for how I primarily work with Dr. Fisher and Gabe Viggers. I'll be back again with another one of these live streams. In fact, I'm doing 8 of these interviews this afternoon from the San Jose airport. And I got a space helmet and everything, so it's very, very quiet. So we'll see how that goes. If nothing else, you should join me just to laugh at the silliness of the things I do in order to be productive. Until next time, everybody,
Take care.